In case you haven't figured it out by now, transformation of functions is a very important concept in Algebra 2, and we're going to be doing this with every function we study. And it all has the same form. So once you learn how to do the absolute value transformations, you're able to do that for any function because it has the same process. So here I'm going to look and ask myself, what kind of function is this? This is an absolute value function because I have the absolute value marks. So my parent function is simply, and in this case I'm going to write it in function notation, is the absolute value of x. I take everything away from the x except for the type of function it is, and that gives me my parent. So now I'm going to ask myself, okay, what is happening inside the absolute value? I have a minus 3. So I'm going to put that here. That's a minus 3. So notice this is minus 3 and this says minus 3. We're good. So what's inside that parentheses is actually a 3 only. On the outside, I have a plus 2. That's a positive 2. So I'm going to write a 2 only there. And then what do I have going on in the front? In the front, I have 1/3 being multiplied in front. So I have a kind of a few things going on here. So to find the vertex, I simply have to look here. Again, I'm going to mark this as this is my HK, and my HK is a very special coordinate XY. It's just a specific name for that coordinate. Okay? So when I'm looking at my HK, I have a positive 3 and a positive 2. So notice my x value is the opposite of what I see inside my original equation, and my y value or my k value is exactly what I see on the outside. Opposite, same. Okay? So that's my vertex. Let's go ahead and plot that. So 3, 2. Okay? So we can see what happened here. It went right 3, up 2. So I'm going to write this as right 3, R stands for right, and up 2. Okay? And U stands for up. So I also know that I have an axis of symmetry that goes to the vertex at x equals 3. So at x equals 3, I have my axis of symmetry. So I'm going to go ahead and do my axis of symmetry is going to go right through that vertex. Notice I haven't even looked. I mean, you can do this by graphing it in your calculator. I'm just trying to show you conceptually what's happening, and then I'll prove it with a calculator. Okay, so that's my axis of symmetry. So I'm going to write this axis of symmetry, and that was at x equals 3. Okay, and now let's go ahead and graph the function. What's happening here? Something else is happening here. So if we were to go back and look at this, I have a 1/3. It's positive, and because it's positive, there was no reflection. It only has a reflection if it's negative. But 1/3, I have to ask myself here, is 1/3 bigger than 1? No. Is 1/3 between 0 and 1? Yes. So it should be a compression by 1/3. And in fact, I am so confident in that I'm going to write that down as a transformation. It did a compression by 1/3. Okay? So it goes right 3 up 2 and a compression by 1/3. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph this. So what do we have? We have something completely different. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's say I don't have this alpha F1 fraction thing. that gives it like this. So if I don't have that in my calculator, I'm going to do parentheses 1 divided by 3 close parentheses, and then I will do absolute value. So math, number, absolute value, and then I'm going to put in x minus 3 on the inside of the absolute value. Make sure I get out, and then I'm going to put in a plus 2. So go ahead and graph it. There was no reflection, but it looks like it's been really pressed out. Okay, it looks really pressed. So my compression was correct. So let's go ahead and go to our table. Again, I am not going to graph these decimals. So I'm going to pick -3 and 4. So -3, 4 is right, -3, 4 is right here. And then I'm going to do 0, 3, 0, 3 is right there. And then I have 3, 2, 3, 2, which was what I said was my vertex. And then I have 6, 3, 6, 3. And then notice I'm going back up. And then I have 9, 4. Okay? So you can see it's kind of squashed out. Let's find the value on the other negative side. Let's get a few more here so we have a good idea of what's going on. I did -3, 4. So let's do -6, 5. And then I have -9, 6. Okay, so we can see it's really been squished. It's a compression. So it's gotten flat. Okay, so that's my new function, and that's the compression by 1/3.